And I'm on YouTube all at the same time. We're going to see if it works. I have two microphones. This one is for you guys. This one is for you guys. I know you can't see as much as people over on Instagram can see. But anyway, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get going. I have a great show for you today. If you happen to see my my pre-show post, I have I kind of teased out that I was going to be doing a Southern Draw series here, and that is what I'm doing. So today is our first up, and that is I'm going to be pairing Redwood Empire Pipe Dream. I have to take it back a little farther so you guys can see. All right, and I'm going to be pairing that with the Southern Draw Jacob's Ladder. So I think, and by the way, I've managed to get contact lenses. They're still going to need some power adjustments, so I'm kind of winging it right now, but it does allow me to wear sunglasses again, and I have missed sunglasses. Oh, my goodness. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive right on in because I know you're not here to talk about my eye problems. Redwood Empire. It's a California spirit from North California. The Pipe Dream, this expression, is a straight bourbon whiskey. I'm going to have to remember to take my head back and forth so that everybody can see me. I'm looking at you, you know. It is a straight bourbon whiskey. It is, what's the math on that? A 50.5 percent alcohol by volume, 101 proof. So it is 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley. And it is a blend of bourbons that are aged in the neighborhood of 4 to 12 years. So it's got some aging to it. It's named after one of the tallest known redwood trees in California, the Pipe Dream. And Pipe Dream bourbon represents Redwood Empire's effort to balance approachability with complexity. The distillery is known for blending sourced and house-distilled whiskeys to produce flavorful yet affordable expressions that really highlight that classic kind of American bourbon character, not a bourbon. All right, let's go ahead and glass some up. Boy, I tell you what, I just realized, public service announcement. I got all the cameras going. I got all the microphones going. I got all the technical issues worked out. I didn't bring a glass. So we're going to have the little bars of death there that some of you my age can remember. The doo. I'll be right back. Wow. I haven't done that in a while. You know, it's a professional show. Oh, and by the way, you may have seen, I have to adjust the camera down here. I've got my Yuengling shirt on. Yeah, I love Yuengling. You're going for beer. Yuengling's the best made in America. Oldest American distillery. Got some wonderful beer. All right, go ahead and glass this up. No more issues for this episode. All right, we've had enough now. I'll pour a little heavier. It's been a rough day. So, that is a beautiful American spirit right there. Look at those, just wonderful kind of medium copper color. It's got that slight reddish orangey hue to it. Oh, I love it when a spirit looks like that. Oh. All right, on the nose. I get a lot of really sweet caramel and some honey that kind of lead the parade. And then behind it, followed closely with toasted oak, some cinnamon, and just a hint of orange peel. It's kind of got that kind of old-fashioned-y kind of aroma to it. I like this. And I've kind of shied away from Redwood because I'm like, California. But, you know, hey, they're doing it all over now. Okay, on the palate. Sorry, I had to look up, see how long I've been on. Like I said, these contacts are not completely dialed in. On the palate, spirit is soft and kind of balanced. There is a little bit of alcohol heat to it, but not a lot. You get flavors of vanilla, some caramel corn, maybe some baking spices in there, a little bit of like roasted peanut. And the rye in the mash bill does give it a nice little peppery lift. The finish is kind of a medium length finish. You get lingering notes of a toasted oat. There's a little brown sugar sweetness, and then you get that touch of spice. I'm actually pretty impressed. You know, they can make whiskey in California, but it is the northern part. You know, I mean, California is the land of fruit and nuts, so. Wow. Gonna be a good day, Tater. Okay. Southern Draw. The Jacob's Ladder. I'm not even sure where to start on this particular side of things. All right, it's manufactured. This is Southern Draw Cigars. This comes in some various vitolas. This one is 6 by 50, I believe, on the ring gauge. The filler and binder are both Nicaraguan. The wrapper is a very beautiful, beautiful Pennsylvania broadleaf Maduro. See all of that? And it is considered a fairly full-strength cigar. The Jacob's Ladder is actually one of Southern Draw's boldest cigars, and maybe one of their most revered. It's built around that dark, oily Pennsylvania broadleaf Maduro wrapper, and it delivers, you know, like some real deep, earthy flavors, and a fairly strong nicotine presence. It is naturally named after the biblical story in Genesis and reflects the brand's tradition of weaving faith-based symbolism into their blends. What the hell's going on over there? Hey, that's not us. I don't know what that is. All right, let's go ahead and we'll give it a cut. Check the nose on it, check the cold draw, and check the construction. All right. As you can see, this is a very dark leaf. It's nice wrapper. It's got a very nice oil sheen on it. It's really good construction. The seams are tight but visible. There is minimal veining. There's only one or two. You can see it right there, and you can see it right there. More prominent veins, but overall, it's a very nice smooth wrapper. It does have a little bit, if you get up close to it, a little bit of a rough roll that looks like intentional. It does have not completely closed, but almost completely closed foot, which is fairly unique. And it does seem to have a little bit of molting to it, and possibly just a hint of tooth. It is a fairly oily wrapper, so I would expect it. On the nose, that's my doorbell's going off there. I get some very nice notes of fresh earth and maybe a little bit of cocoa, some good hints, nice hints of cedar and a little bit of leather. Maybe some a little bit of kind of a darker sweetness like a molasses. All right, cold draw. I seem to be kind of taking my time today. Cold draw is fairly straightforward. It's got a nice, easy draw to it, but not like overly easy. I get some cedar and some leather, maybe some a little bit of hint of earth in there, and some kind of general sweetness. But I don't pick up any kind of peppery notes on the cold draw or spicy notes for that matter. It's a nice cigar. Wish you were here. You should enjoy one. All right. Let's go ahead and light this puppy up. It's kind of weird because on Rumble, the screen is fairly small, but on the Instagram Live, it's very large. So I have to adjust so everybody can see equally. Do a little touch up, make sure I picked these Maven torch lighters on Amazon, and they're very versatile. And you do really need a single torch. You know, like I use my Rocky Patel Envoy 5 torch when I'm lighting a cigar, but it's hard to use that blowtorch. That is the Rocky Patel Envoy that I love so much when you're just trying to touch up a cigar. So you really do, you know, need a little single, and these fit the bill and they're refillable. So very nice smoke. Very nice. Off the light, I get a really nice kind of dense earthiness, some dark cocoa and some black pepper. They kind of dominate, but then it's also suppressed. I mean, supported, not suppressed, supported by some notes of espresso and charred oak. It's a pretty good stick. Pretty good stick. Together, at first glance, you might think that these could be a little bit of a mismatch, but actually they're very approachable. The Pipe Dream, even though it is over 100 proof, it's just barely at 101, and the fullness in strength in the cigar blends and marries very well with it. You know, I mean, it is surprisingly, the combination does work well together, allowing each of the components to highlight the different aspects of the other. It's about to get to be the best time of year in college basketball, March Madness. I got Arkansas and Mizzou on up here. That's one thing sunglasses do. You can't see when I'm actually looking at the game. I can be talking to you and watching the game. You know, I love having contacts again. Anyway, all right, let's push on. The bourbon's kind of caramel, honey, and vanilla sweetness really seem to soften the aggressive pepper and earthy intensity of the cigar, while the cigars out of dark cocoa and espresso pull forward the deeper flavors in the whiskey that might otherwise go unnoticed. They do go really well together. I'm actually a little bit pleasantly surprised. Also, the rye spice in the bourbon plays very nicely with the cigar's kind of black pepper character, creating a really pleasant, warming sensation on the palate without overwhelming the spirit. This makes for a pretty good afternoon, I can tell you. I actually ran upon these Southern Draws at my local smoke shop. They had some of the humidified, 5-packs. They had like 5 different Southern Draw cigars in it. So I bought 2. That way I had 2 of each. That gives me a test smoke so I can come up with, all my notes and stuff. And then I got 1 for the show. 1 for the money and 2 for the show, and 3, let's go. Something like that. It's got a, kind of a not super straight. I've touched it up a couple of times, so it seems to be burning just a hair uneven. Not that big of a deal. We'll see when the ash finally drops on it, what it looks like then. But I can say that the stacks of ash are really nice, compact, layered. That beautiful kind of whitish gray with some hints of black layer in there. And I would, without a doubt, definitely say, you should give one of these a try. And I am extremely satisfied with the Redwood Empire pipe dream. I'm very pleasantly surprised and am enjoying this spirit very much. Let me see what we got going on here. Hey, we got a few people joining in over on Instagram. Hey, happy you're here. Happy you're here. I have not gotten to do enough Instagram stuff. I actually have the majority of my followers are on Instagram. I have twice as many followers on Instagram as I do on any of my other social medias. I actually have about as many on Instagram as all my others combined. But Instagram's a pain when it comes to live streaming. If you're just going to go live on Instagram, it's not a problem, as you can see. But on Rumble, I can either, with a stream key and all this kind of stuff, I can live stream to Instagram, or I can just forget Instagram and I can live stream to X and YouTube and Facebook and some of these others that people may have heard of in the far reaches. But Instagram, you just can't do it. They're like, sorry, not on this platform. So I got the idea this week. I'm like, I have several old phones laying around, and I do have 2 sets of wireless microphones. Why not set up another camera? I mean, I've got you guys on Rumble, and I've got you guys on Instagram. And then what you can't see down here is I have another phone where I am on my personal X account watching what's happening. That way I know that I'm actually going somewhere. There was a time when I wasn't doing that a while ago, when I was a little more of a rookie, that I got about 10 minutes into the show and figured out it wasn't going live. I was just sitting there looking at myself on my screen, smoking and drinking, and wasn't nobody able to watch. And you can't put the genie back in the jar with something like this. Once you've started smoking it, you started smoking it. So that's where I came up with the idea of having a phone out here where I could watch what was happening. I don't really pay much attention to it. I just look to see how many people are watching. You've got about a dozen on X right now and several on Instagram. Sorry. I don't have YouTube. I don't know that I can pull up another phone. So I do have another one, an old one, but. And I will tell you this, Instagram, I started charging this phone. It was at 27% when I turned it on, so I started charging it. It charged to about 55% before I started. Then I had to unplug it and plug in the wireless microphone. So there could be a point where you just drop off. You guys won't. You're completely charged. Or if I'm fast enough, I can jerk the little receiver out and plug the power thing in, and then you can't hear me very well, but at least you can see this lovely mug, right? My oldest daughter is she's one of these foster puppies people. She fosters dogs, and she does much better than I do. She doesn't monetize or anything like that. This is as far as people. And I'm like, well, yeah, she's a beautiful blonde with a wonderful personality that studied theater studies in college. She's very good on screen. The first video she posted she's on the TikTok thing. She got like 5 million views in a week. And then somebody from Newsweek contacted her and did a story on her. I've been doing this for 5 years. She got 5 million views in a week. I don't think I have 5 million views, period. I keep telling her, you could do this and make money at it. Oh, but I'm not doing it for money. I'm like, well, you may not be doing it for money. But you all tell me if I'm wrong. If you can make money, why not? I mean, I know you're here for the cigar and whiskey, but there's some good life lessons in there too, right? I say this all the time. Like on Instagram, like Rojo Corojo, she does a whole lot better than I do. Looks a lot better than I do too. 50-something-year-old balding fella from Texas in a cowboy hat. Yeah, I don't get, tens of thousands of views on a video. But, hey, here's what it is. I'm happy. I'm doing this for fun anyway. But if you wanted to help the show, I do have subscribers on X. You go and subscribe. It's $1 a month. That's $12 a year. You can barely go to McDonald's for $12 now. $1 a month. And you would have had the show notes, just kind of a general overview, before the show ever started. You could be sitting there looking. Like, I'm seeing that. Yeah. Here's what it is. I've thought about doing a kind of a cigar of the month club kind of thing, where I can mail out, so much a month. I'll mail you out like 5 cigars every month. See what you think. So if you're interested in something like that, let me know, because I'd kind of like to know what the market is for that. I know like the big cigar places do it, but I'm not a big cigar place. I have a regular job. I do this on the weekends, and I smoke cigars during the week, and I post pictures and stuff like that. But I buy the cigars myself and then would, send them out to you. I've been very impressed with the quality of this Redwood Empire. I'd actually looked a couple of different places trying to judge because they've got, a half a dozen different expressions. And I didn't want to start with, just like whatever the, lowest one is on the totem pole. So I kind of got some places that had kind of ranked them. And this one was kind of, in the middle there. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a good place to start. This bottle, 750 milliliter, is about $55. It's not a real expensive spirit. Now their top offering is $125, $140, something like that. So I didn't want to jump off there because what if I got it and didn't like it? I'm seeing some. You can see that. Just a second, Instagram. I'll get to you. You can see how it's kind of pushing apart right there, and it's still not completely. We don't have a really good straight burn line. Now you guys, you can see. So hit it with the single again. I do like the precision with which you can use the single torch. I'm just afraid the ash is going to fall in my lap because that's what normally happens. I was smoking a cigar yesterday and it did it. No, day before yesterday. Like, damn it, every time. I see these guys, they'll post a picture and it'll be all the way down to the band. And I'm like, yeah, I can't ever get that. About an inch and a half, and it falls off. I'm going to go ahead and take the second band off. It's now heated up enough that the cellulose glue has come off, or is not sticking. However you want to say that. Ooh. All right. A little basketball update here. You have the 20th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks going against the unranked Missouri Tigers at Mizzou. In the first period, Arkansas was up at 1 point by 15. There's a minute and 22 seconds left, and they are dead tied. 22 seconds left in the game. Like, Mizzou made a comeback. I'm not really I guess if I had to pick one of those two, I'd pick Arkansas because that's where I was raised. I know y'all think I'm just a Texas cowboy, but I wasn't born here. My mom, she still lives in Arkansas, and she said, the only place you ever wanted to live was Texas. And I'm like, well, I got here as quick as I could. And now that all I want to do is live at the beach. Maybe in 4 years, 11 months, 21 days. But I'm not counting. That's when I'm eligible to retire from my job. My financial planner, once she stopped laughing, she said, you could retire from there in 4 years, 11 months, and 21 days. You ain't going to be able to quit working. Well, like, geez, thanks for shooting my dreams down, right? I'll tell you this. Any youngsters out there and I say youngsters, 20-somethings. Look, I'm going to go ahead. This is just, it's got too much Peyronie's disease on it. I'm going to go ahead and tap it off before it falls in my lap. There we go. And it fell off fairly straight. So good construction. If you're in your 20s, either you're about to graduate college or you've already graduated college and you're in your first, like career position, from the very first day, start putting into the 401k program, even if it's just $50 a paycheck. Start early. Telling you. All right, well, we're about halfway mark, so I think I probably better give you an update, right? We can't just sit here and smoke and drink and BS all day, right? As we've gotten, to about the halfway mark, The cigar's flavors has sort of deepened. You get a kind of a darker, rich, like baking chocolate, some really nice notes of leather, some wonderful notes of molasses and roasted coffee beans. The strength has kind of steadily built a little bit as we've gone farther in. The Redwood with that 101 proof is keeping pace very well, and it is still supporting the cigar, while the cigar is, even though it has transitioned some in flavor, is still doing a great job at supporting the spirit. So there you go. Now you're updated. And for those that may have joined later, I am pairing Redwood Empire's Pipe Dream with the Southern Draw Jacob's Ladder. The Pipe Dream is California Spirit from North California. It has a mash bill that is 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley, which the 75% corn is fairly high, which gives it a nice sweetness. But then you have the rye, which gives it a nice spiciness as well, and one doesn't really overpower the other. It's 50.5% alcohol by volume, which is 101 proof, which can be where it starts to get much more intense as far as I don't know, power for the whiskey. But this comes across very well. There's basically no ethanol burn in the nose. The heat that's on the palate is really more rye driven as opposed to alcohol driven, even though it is 101 proof. And it's a blend of whiskeys that are aged between 4 and 12 years. So, I mean, it depends on exactly how much of each aging that they put into it. But you could say in rum, it's called the Solara method, and they average out to X number of years. Well, this would average to about 8 years. So, not too bad. Now, the cigar is one of Southern Draw's most robust blends. It is Nicaraguan filler and binder with a Pennsylvania broadleaf Maduro wrapper. And on the light, it gives you a really dense earthiness with some dark cocoa and black pepper. And then a little bit underneath that, but still supporting, is espresso and kind of a charred oak, which does marry well with bourbon. So, and then as we've gotten deeper into the cigar, where am I at? Oh man, I'm gonna have to hurry up and wrap this up. I'm already at 34 minutes. As we've gotten deeper into the cigar, you've gotten some darker chocolatey notes as opposed to cocoa, and you've gotten some molasses, which is a really kind of a deeper sweetness, which marries well with the sweetness from the bourbon, from the Pipe Dream. So, a very good pairing, I think. Very good pairing. To kind of highlight it, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here because I don't like going too far over 30 minutes. I used to do nearly an hour, but people they don't stay. They're like, yeah, I can't watch 58 minutes of this guy talking about a cigar and whiskey. Maybe you can, I don't know. But anyway, the YouTube analytics said you couldn't. So you've got the kind of caramel bourbony sweetness with the dark cocoa chocolate molasses of the broadleaf wrapper. Then you got the rye spice that complements the black pepper in the cigar. You've got the vanilla and honey that's balanced with the cigar's earth and espresso. It all comes together very well. And it is a pairing that really rewards slow pacing. We're at 36 minutes, and I'm a little bit more than halfway through. So, you're talking a little over an hour smoke if you're, pacing yourself really nice. I know I don't quite pace myself too much on these because I'm busy talking, training. I could just sit here and but y'all need something to listen to, right? My sips are small and my draws are fairly short, which allows the whiskey's sweetness to continually reset the palate against the cigar's kind of bold intensity. The Pipe Dream has got a decent proof, but it still doesn't dominate Jacob's Ladder. The Jacob's Ladder kind of manages to balance that sweetness and make it a kind of a surprisingly effective companion. I would say that this bold cigar, moderated by a sweet bourbon, results in a very satisfying and balanced experience. If you enjoy full-bodied cigars, if you are new to the cigar industry, if you're a new cigar smoker and you're still have your training wheels on and you're smoking Connecticut leaves, light colored leaves, that kind of thing, you might not want to jump into this one right away. You might want to work your way up. Keep the training wheels on until you're ready. Overall, I would give this a 9 out of 10, maybe 8.9. A lot of it, this is all personal choice. You may think it's exquisite, or you may think this sucks. But that's one thing I tell people online all the time. That's the great thing about the cigar and spirits thing, is that everybody gets something different. Some people will say, I never smoked that because I don't like those. That's cool. There are some people that smoke that same cigar that think it's the best thing ever. It's just the way it is. It's all personal taste. So don't get so caught up into listening to people like me and saying, I have to taste this, because you don't. But what you can do is listen to somebody like me and go, well, they liked it, so I'm going to give it a try. I'll see what I get out of it. And you may think it's the best thing ever. You may think it completely sucks. I can tell you, no matter how good or bad the cigar or spirit, it's always a great time just to get out and smoke and sip. It is. I hope you'd enjoy this episode as much as I have enjoyed bringing it to you. I've really been happy that I've been able to rope you guys in from Instagram on here, now that I figured out how to do you. At the same time, I'm on here on Rumble, where I'm multicasting onto other platforms. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells, do all the whistles. On X, you can subscribe. $1 a month, go subscribe. Every time I have an episode, which is once a week, you'll get an email or a post that's only to subscribers that gives you my pre-show notes. So early what's going to happen. And definitely leave me comments. I love reading comments. You can tell me I suck. You can tell me, oh, it's wonderful, I didn't really get that. Or, hey, would you pair this and this? I love all that stuff. That's how I grow. It doesn't matter what you say. I don't get pushed down in the algorithm because you say this sucks. I get pushed up in the algorithm because you say something. So until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold, and have a great day.